I had a dream when I was just a little girl. I think I was about 5 years old when I decided I wanted to be a nurse. And so when the years went by, one Christmas we had a visit from the man who owned the company where my grandfather and my 3 uncles worked. He always came by at Christmas time to visit with the families. Everyone was excited. I was 13 years old at the time, and when he came in to visit with us, he sat and talked to different ones in the family, and he asked me, "What would you like to be when you grow up?" "A nurse," I said. He smiled real big and told me, "If you need any help, give me a call when you're ready to become a nurse." The years went on by. I graduated from high school, and when I was 16, I applied to go to nursing school in my town. My plan was to live at home and go to school. But when the director of nurses called me in to her office, she said, "I think you're going to make a great nurse, but I want to recommend you go to a smaller school. I believe you're going to need some help with mathematics." I tell you, I was disappointed. My heart just fell when she told me that. But I went home and told Mother and just did nothing about it for a few weeks because I did not have another plan. One day I happened to be talking to 2 girls who had graduated from school with me, and they said, "Oh, come on and go to us to nursing school because we found a school 70 miles away and that's where we're going." So I got an application and I sent it in a few weeks, and here it came, and they wanted $125 for me to enter school. I didn't have that money. My mother didn't have that money. We had no way of getting that money. But I remembered the man's promise to me 3 years earlier. So I called and made an appointment, and you can imagine how nervous a 16-year-old would be to go and see such an important man at his office. But I got myself all ready, and Mother drove me over. I went in sheepishly and spoke to the secretary. She sent me into his office, and I stood there by his desk. The gentleman looked at me as though he'd never seen me before. I'm sure I looked different in 3 years' time. And so I reminded him of my grandfather and my other relatives who worked at his plant. And I said, "I want to go to nursing school, and you may not remember telling me that you might want to help me go." He said, "How much do you need?" I told him $125. So he wrote a check. I was just breathless when I took the check and showed my mother. God had provided a way. Well, I got into nursing school. I still didn't have enough money to pay the rest of the way. But as it turned out, there were some scholarships available to me. And in those days, you lived at the school and you went year-round, except for brief vacation times. That's how it worked back then. But Mother reminded me, every birthday, every holiday, I want you to send a card to this gentleman and let him know that you're still in school and remember him. So I did that. When I graduated and got my license to practice, it took me 6 months to save up enough money to return to him what I had borrowed. But I wrote a nice letter thanking him and sending him back the $125 he had loaned to me. Do you have a dream? Has someone helped you along the way, or do you need some help? The scripture tells us that those who lend to the poor give to God, and He will repay them. That certainly is true in my case, because this man gave to me when I didn't have what I needed, and made it possible for me to go to school. God provided a way even when I had my share of disappointments and hard work. And recently I had an opportunity to give back to another girl who wanted to complete her nursing school. In fact, it's interesting to note that when I reread the old letter from this gentleman thanking me for the check I mailed to him, he said, "I have taken the money you sent back to me, and I'm sending another girl to nursing school. You will be helping her as well." God has given me an ability to give back into the life of another. Perhaps you can't get your dream, but someone has helped you along the way. Maybe not in money, but in prayer and encouragement. In some way, someone has helped you along the way. To give back is a wonderful pleasure. It is a great joy to be able to take the blessings that you have and to give those into the life of another person. Perhaps this is what God meant, that He would give back to us and we could give back into the hands of another, the thing that they might need to guide them along the way. Today you may have such an opportunity. I hope you'll take it. It will certainly be worth your while.